am Matilda Ann, a final year MBA student of University School of Management Studies, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha School, delivering a lesson on Introduction to Corporate Social Responsibility, CSR. What is corporate social responsibility? To understand what corporate social responsibility is, we must first answer, where did CSR come from? In the 1970s and 80s, environmental concerns such as loss of the rainforest and the effect of pollution led to a recognition that something had to be done to change the way we were using the planet's resources. As a result, some heads of state came together at Rio, Brazil, in 1992 for what was called the Earth Summit. At Rio, governments pledged action to stop the unsustainable use of resources and to promote sustainable development, that is, society growing in such a way that future generations are not compromised and have access to the same resources that we have today. For this to happen, social, environmental, and economic considerations should be assessed together and not in isolation. The Earth Summit produced various United Nations conventions, including conventions on biological diversity and climate change. CSR is now sometimes considered as the business response to the challenge of sustainable development. Understanding corporate social responsibility. According to the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, corporate social responsibility is the continuing commitment by business to behave ethically and contribute to economic development while improving the quality of life of the workforce and their families, as well as the local community and society at large. Thus, CSR is seen as a self-regulating business model that helps a company be socially accountable to itself, its stakeholders, and the public. By practicing corporate social responsibility, companies can be conscious of the kind of impact they are having on all aspects of society, including economic, social, and environmental aspects. To engage in CSR means that, in the ordinary course of business, a company is operating in ways that enhance society and the environment, instead of contributing negatively to them. CSR is a broad concept that can take many forms depending on the company and industry. As important as CSR is for the community, it is equally valuable for a company. CSR activities can help forge a stronger bond between employees and corporations, boost morale, and help both employees and employers feel more connected with the world around them. According to the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, corporate social responsibility is a management concept whereby companies integrate social and environmental concerns in their business operations and interactions with their stakeholders. CSR is generally understood as being the way through which a company achieves a balance of economic, environmental, and social imperatives, and at the same time addressing the expectations of shareholders and stakeholders. This is also known as the triple bottom line approach. In this sense, it is important to draw a distinction between CSR, which can be a strategic business management concept, and charity, sponsorships, or philanthropy. even though the latter can also make a valuable contribution to the society. It would directly enhance the reputation of a company and strengthen its brand. The concept of CSR, however, clearly goes beyond that. Therefore, to practice CSR, business must operate in a manner that meets or exceeds the ethical, legal, commercial, and public expectations that society has of a business. CSR and attitudes differ largely due to 1. Values and ethical systems. Values are the rules by which we make decisions about right and wrong, should and shouldn't, good and bad. Simply put, a value is a view of life and judgment of what is desirable. It is part of a person's personality. For example, J.R.D. Tata created the township Tata Nagar for employees with housing, hospital, parks, water, electricity, and guarantee of one job for the next generation of the worker. This was possible due to his value system for the well-being of the society. Ethics tend to be codified into a formal system or set of rules which are explicitly adopted by a group of people. So we have examples like medical ethics, professional ethics of authors, and so on. Another way in which CSR approaches and attitudes differ is social and economic systems. For example, in developing countries where majority of domestic economic activities is concentrated in small or medium enterprises, SMEs, it is imperative to assist these SMEs in meeting social and environmental standards without compromising their competitiveness. CSR activities are to be undertaken, taking into account their respective physical capacity and not overstretching their rather limited resources. The triple bottom line approach can help countries in the developing bracket to accelerate their socio-economic growth and help them become more competitive. This approach encourages private companies and institutions to align their activities in a socially, economically, and environmentally viable way. This will help countries achieve sustainable development goals in the long run. Companies are encouraged to take up cost-effective CSR programs that help the society and the environment. The third way in which CSR approaches and attitudes may differ is due to the legal and regulatory frameworks. For example, in India, the Companies Act made CSR compulsory for all companies, government or private. Companies with a net worth of rupees 500 crores or more, annual turnover of rupees 1,000 crores or more, annual net profit of at least rupees 5 crores must spend at least 2% of this on CSR activities. The non-performance of this attracts legal penalties, whereas in the US, CSR is a form of soft law. It is not mandated by statute or regulations for companies to spend on CSR, nor is there any penalties for non-performance. Another approach by which CSR activities may differ is the cultural practices. For example, in India, issues like cow protection are highly significant CSR initiatives due to the religious beliefs and sentiments of Hinduism. Further, local society and public needs and expectations. For example, Total Ghana, as part of its corporate social responsibility, is committed to helping young people thrive, driven by the belief that sustainable development cannot be achieved without effective solutions to promote professional and social inclusion. The company donated to the Mephisophep Training Center for the Physically Challenged at Gomwa in Kamu in the central region of Ghana. The company again donated ICT laboratory equipment to Canville RC School Complex in the northern region of Ghana. In this example, we see Total engaging in different activities in different areas depending on the specific needs of the locals. Characteristics of CSR. To sum what the characteristics of CSR are. First one is, it is a voluntary activity that goes beyond those prescribed by law. It involves internalization and managing externalities. It involves multiple stakeholder orientation and not only focusing on shareholders. It includes alignment of social and economic responsibilities to maximize the profitability. Last but not the least, it involves practices and values about why we do something. To conclude this lesson, let us consider this: the CSR paradox. In order to maintain a socially responsible business model, companies should act in a manner that will benefit society. Contrary to this, in order to benefit society, companies should act in a manner that benefits themselves. That is, the company must be profitable in order to spend. But economic performance is not the only responsibility of a business. Every organization must assume responsibility for its impact on employees, the environment, customers, and whomever and whatever it touches. That is corporate social responsibility. A company that engages in CSR as sleek public relations will not elicit as much value from any related activities as if it is perceived as being sincerely interested in them. Thus, there is more economic value when the economics are secondary to something more primary. If the concept of CSR is not intended to benefit a company in any economical sense, as in the case of charity and philanthropy, then does the benefit of CSR defeat its purpose? This is the fundamental paradoxical complexity of corporate social responsibility. My name is Matilda Ann. This lesson has been Introduction to CSR. Thank you for your audience.